Having been duly nominated, it is my honor to declare nominations closed and Rebecca Darnell elected as the Liberal Party of Canada's candidate in the Langley constituency.
Well, it's anybody's guess when the next federal election is going to take place. I can guarantee that Langley is going to be ready. Not just ready for an election, but Langley will be ready for change. We've been a conservative riding and represented by a conservative MP in Langley far too long. It's time to change all of that. I'm committed to a new Langley that is a Liberal Langley when votes are counted. Langley will have in me a dynamic voice and a presence in Ottawa. I will represent you in Parliament and Parliament will hear me. We won't be ignored, nor will we not be heard. Langley will experience growth, both economically and also stability in its social programs. No longer will Langley endure an MP that makes promises that don't come through. He promised $5 million would be put towards this very facility and then didn't come through. When that's bad enough that he didn't come through with the $5 million that he promised in March of 2008, then he tried to assign the blame to the very partners that brought this facility to fruition, under budget and under time. And that includes this very township of Langley, where we all live and where we all pay our taxes. No longer will Langley get the short end of the stick when it comes to infrastructure. And just where exactly are those stimulus shovels in Langley? There was no money for the event centre. In January of 2009, our current Member of Parliament, Mr. Warlock, announced a joint federal-provincial investment of $5.29 million to build a new nickel bridge, to improve local transport and to create jobs. I drove by that nickel bridge on my way here tonight. There isn't one shovel in sight. It's been more than 7 months and not one nickel has come to Langley. Where are the money and where are the jobs, Mr. Warlock? Just yesterday, Mr. Warlock was at the campus, the Langley campus of Quantum Polytechnic University, and he announced $1.7 million. I'm not at all optimistic that the $1.7 million that the federal government has promised for infrastructure for the Langley campus at Quantum Polytechnic University is going to materialize. It will go the same way as the money for this event center and the money for the nickel bridge. I was educated in British Columbia. I worked in banking in British Columbia and then in our court system at 222 Main Street, which is notably the poorest postal code in Canada. It's in the heart of the downtown east side. We called it the belly of the beast. There's not a lot I didn't see in 222 Main Street. It was really very, very upsetting to see what people go through, the substance abuse, how they struggle to overcome that. I left there after 8 years, which is actually quite a long time to work in that environment, and went to the civil legal system as support staff. I felt frustrated. I felt that in my career I was underutilized, so I basically took the bull by the horns and found a way that I could get into law school without doing an undergraduate degree directly as a mature student. Initially, after I left school, higher education wasn't available to me. And of course, this was many years ago. I'm not saying how many, but many. And that's because of financial circumstances of myself and my family. I was from a single parent home. I know those struggles, and I know what it's like not to be able to pay for your own education. My personal difficulties led me to serve on the Board of Governors of Quantum Polytechnic University, and the reason that I chose Quantum is because Kwantlen is a school that is available to people who don't have necessarily the ability to get into your more traditional universities. Langley is the birthplace of British Columbia. Tonight, we have heard from Kevin Kelly from the Kwantlen Nation. Kwantlen means tireless runner. And I commit to you that I'm going to be the voice of Langley, and I will be the voice in Ottawa for not just the community in Langley, but also the Kwantlen community. And I will be a tireless advocate. I will be a tireless voice. I will be a tireless member of Parliament. The Kwantlen Nation deserves this, and the Langley Nation deserves this. Canadians take pride in their history. We take pride in our First Nations, from the Mi'kmaq on the East Coast to the Stolo of the Fraser Valley, the Haida-Gwaii of our western shores, and the Inuit in our precious and precarious north. All of Canada's peoples, including our European forefathers, have one thing in common, and that is our belief in balance, our belief in the four directions, our belief in the four elements. The New Liberal Party stands for balance in this century. As Michael Ignatieff recently told the Victoria Gathering just this past June, Canadians are ready for the kind of federal government that treats municipalities as equal partners. They're ready for that kind of government, cooperative, competent, creative, compassionate. That's the kind of a government the Liberals and only the Liberals can provide. A politics that replaces spite and spin with civility and common purpose. Together we can unite Canadians instead of dividing them. We can appeal to the best in Canadians instead of the worst. Our leader, Michael Ignatieff, calls for a knowledgeable society, investments in our colleges and universities and in our researchers, investments in emerging technologies. We're going to reform the employment insurance system. We're going to support literacy, including early learning and childcare, and we're going to bet the store on education. Yeah. But for education, I wouldn't be standing here before you today. We're going to give Canadians income security in retirement. We'll stand together on the cusp of incredible opportunities and of great national challenges. And my friends, we are going to prove to all the world that Canadians are competent, courageous, cooperative, creative, conservationist, and a compassionate lot. As our population ages, remember I'm not telling you how old I am, we need to ensure that we can maintain and improve our long-term care facilities. There's going to be a lot more of us and not any fewer of us as time marches by.
That's right.
I need your votes to take me to Ottawa, where I can lead the discussion on important issues for Langley and for the West. Please get out the vote, sign up your friends and neighbors, tell those that you know Rebecca Darnell and she cares about this country, and I am a serious candidate that is going to be a voice in Ottawa. I have the capacity, I have the mobility to cope with change on a daily and even an hourly basis. I'll listen to you, and I will take your concerns to Ottawa. That's the only guarantee I can give you, is that I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can to make sure that Langley has a presence and Langley has a voice. I'm committed to Langley first, the West second, and Canada third. I will work hard. And a vote for me will be a vote for you and a vote for Langley.